my grandmother used to tell me two things. One of the things she used to tell me was, you can't save the world. And now I understand what that means. Another thing she used to tell me is charity starts at home. And I think for me, what I've realized is we're so far gone as a community. And I'm not bashing us. I'm just trying to educate us.
Yeah,
like for me, because we're so sensitive as well. It's like, well, so why you ain't talking about them? Why you only? Well, I'm black, so I'm speaking from my perspective and my community.
And where we need to grow and we need to heal. We need to point out what's wrong with our community so that we can grow as a community.
Yeah.
We can't take everything and it's ego. Like you got everybody is driven by the ego. Everything is driven by the ego. Even like the whole idea of rulership, the whole idea of presidency, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea of the Europeans coming and taking people's land was all ego driven.
100%. But what I've learned is what you do not condemn, you're complicit to. So to me, the most ignorant thing is when I see this specifically, especially people that are related to me and that I know, it degresses us. We go back another 50 years when I see, oh, free my cousin, but your cousin is a murderer. Your cousin is robbing someone. I don't want anyone, regardless of color, that is killing someone to be free. Now, I think the jail is the worst thing that they could have ever created. I feel like it's inhumane for any human. But I also feel like there should be a punishment when you are a habitual offender. When you continue to commit crimes that could affect me and my family, there should be a punishment for that.
Regardless if you're in my community
Regardless if you're in my community or not.
Because at the end of the day, everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go.
There's crabs in a barrel, right? And people are going to be grabbing at you, pulling you back in, right? You let one bad person, one bad seed into the community, it's like a cancer, it'll spread. And that's what our community doesn't understand is that, and I had to be one of those people that had to say, I want everybody, I want to save everybody. I was like, your grandma, like, I want to be the hero to everybody.
Same.
And then I had to realize if I let certain people into the community, like my friend, I'm just a nigga, I'm just a gangbanger, right? If I let you into the community, you might kill the pastor. You might kill me. So
the farmer that's supplying our food.
So why would I let you into the community? So we talk about prison. I think prison is systemic, and I think that it has, some people are very mentally ill and they need to be there. But y'all can't get mad when in biblical times they was killing people for doing some of the things that y'all are doing. Now I see you guys on the internet defending sexual predators.
It's the strangest thing to me. It's the strangest thing to me that somebody it's okay with thinking it because we know some people think fucked up. But to say out loud that you are accepting of somebody doing something so heinous, and you saying that out loud, it shows how non-progressive we are. Because there is no way possible, and that's the real problem. The real problem is no matter. That's why I said charity starts at home. Because I know I can't save the world. It's some people that are so far gone. Some of these people are multimillionaires and they've gotten their 40 acres of mule and they still think like that. That lets you know it's internal. It's something that's inside of you that is still not happy with yourself. Because if you was happy with yourself, to me, I feel like being successful is an obligation. I feel like being blessed in any type of way is an obligation. I feel like the universe blesses you because it knows that you have the power to bless someone else. Now, it's your responsibility to do that. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. For me, no matter how successful I get, my gifts are given to me, and I know this for a fact because I share. My intellect, my education, my information, my intuitism, my money, my whatever I've been blessed with, I share. Because there is no way I'm going to look at you and you look like me and we're in the same tribe and I'm not going to want you to be your very best. I'm not going to want you to be where I am and beyond. Because guess what? I'm tired of feeding everybody. I want to teach you how to feed someone so you can then come back and help feed me. It makes no sense to me that we are complicit and we are okay with degenerate behavior, with mediocrity, with being a nigga. None of that stuff to me is cool. To me, what's cool is being free. To me, what's cool is being respected. Because one thing they can't take away is your intellect. You can be as dark as your sweater. But if you walk into a room and you know what you're talking about, that is power. And that is something that they are scared of. In general, whomever, even people that look like you are scared of. That type of power can control a nation. If you're not teaching that, and you're teaching the rest of the people that you're around, that it's okay to think, well, because he's your family, he does no wrong. It's fucking foolishness. To me, it's the most ignorant way of thinking that anybody can think, anywhere, any color, any place, any country. But specifically for us, I feel like it's bad because we complain all the time. Oh, they kill us. Oh, they lock us up. Oh, they're racist. But we show them that we are doing the same things to each other. It makes no sense to me.
And that's why I think it's important. Some people are going to have to separate.
Yeah.
As a black man who has had the success that you have been able to obtain in many different industries, right? Do you find it that you have an advantage as a black man? And I'm going to answer that question as well for me as a black woman and in my industry. Do you find that you have an advantage, and do you also see that people who get this advantage are able to break through in these industries? Do you find that some people, black people in particular, are gatekeepers when they find a level of success?
Ooh, I think that you asking all the right questions, because I think the people need to hear these answers, and I'm happy to tell them, because these are things that, like you said, these are things that I preach to you when I first meet you, because I really want everybody around me to do well, and whatever they are, whomever they are, and whatever background they come from, I just want people to do well. I especially want black people to do well because I know that we deserve it. But I want everyone around me. If you're in my space, I want you to do well. And I want that same from you. But to answer your question, I do think I have an advantage. And I don't think I have an advantage because I'm successful. I think I have an advantage because of how I think. No matter what room I walk in, I actually can't think of a time that anybody has asked me, what's my background? Specifically, did I go to college? Do I have a degree? When I go into rooms, I'm so confident when I speak, and I'm so accurate when I speak, they have no choice but to respect me. That is a power that I hold, and that is something that I've noticed that my counterparts and other people that have more power than me respect more than anything else, is that I'm intelligent. When I walk in a room, if I don't know about it, I'm not speaking about it, because there's a lot of things I don't know. But what I do know, I'm happy to tell you. And it's fact-based, right? So that's the answer to the first part. I think I have an advantage, but I think that advantage is specifically relying on my mindset and the way that I think. And I do think that a lot of other people, and other would be white, Hispanic, whomever, I think a lot of them, I think the vast majority want black people to win as well. I think there's a sector of them who don't, and a sector of them who's racist, a sector of them who don't like us. But I think the vast majority, especially the new thinkers, not the old school people, but the new age people and the people that are our age, I think a vast majority of them want us to win, but we don't give them the opportunity to help us in that way, a lot of us, because we still have that nigga mythology. But what I will say is, that's the first part. What was the second question again? I'm sorry.
Do you think that there are our people that have become successful who say...
Gatekeep.
Right. Oh, I made it.
Yeah. I think, and that's going to be now reversed. I think the vast majority of black people and people of color that has made it and been successful, and we can name a bunch of them, we know who they are, they gatekeep. And they gatekeep because out of fear. Number one, they're scared, and it goes back to courage, because courage lies inside success. You can't be successful at anything unless you don't have fear. You have to be courageous. So that's the thing. But a lot of times, even though you've maintained a certain level of success, a lot of those people have fear. Because especially when there's someone like you who come in and you're matter of fact, you're confident, you can have 27 cents in your account and they can have 27 million. But if they feel like you can come in and take their spot, then they're going to gatekeep. And I have been a victim of that my entire career. Because unfortunately, my gift is also my curse. Mm-hmm. I am smart, but that is intimidating to some people. I am somebody who is confident, but that is intimidating to some people. I am someone who will go the extra mile and teach a room for free. That is intimidating to some people, because a lot of times people come in and say, well, why are you telling them what I took 20 years to learn? I don't want you telling these strangers
in
this
30 minutes.
In 30 minutes, because then you're going to advance them. Instead of thinking, well, if you advance them, then you advance me.
But also being a progressive, because if you progress and if you're willing to always push yourself to the next level, it don't matter what you taught somebody, because you're always going to keep going and progressing and finding new ideas and new techniques.
Well, the power that I hold is there's no other entity like me. There's only one.
Hello.
No matter if you are here or you are here, there is no other entity like me, and that's my power. And that is held within. I think a lot of people have not yet gained that that power in themselves to know no matter what you take from me or you give to me, you can't take away me. You can't be this special. You're special. I'm special. They're special. But what I hold is specifically to me.
Hello.
And I think that is a lot of the problem. A lot of times, even if you're in the Benz, you're still a nigga in the coupe. So you get this power, you get this success, but you still think like Jerome from around the corner. And it's okay to think like Jerome when you're around the corner. But when you get to this level, you need to be something different.
And Nipsey Hussle is a very great example of that. Rest in peace to the late, great Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
But you've seen that his mindset was starting to evolve. And unfortunately, he got stuck in a crab in a barrel situation. That's why I like to teach my people that don't even get yourself, I like to teach the kids young, don't even get yourself in those situations, because it's always going to come back to you. When they say, and you know, karma, good karma, bad karma, whatever, just being a victim of the circumstances is always going to come back around. And just for me, like, as far as having an advantage, I absolutely, as a black woman, feel like I have an advantage in my industry, because there's not a lot of basketball. There's a lot of black women basketball coaches, but there's not a lot of basketball trainers, right? I think that I possess a knowledge that most people don't. I look at this stuff like mathematics and science, geometry. I put like a new wave on it, right? And I've been able to obtain success in young kids. Like, people might look at my page. Like, I get people on my page talking shit like, "Oh yeah, go teach those kids how to dribble," right? But look at these kids how they dribble. Look at these kids how they shoot. I don't want to go get the best. Obviously, I do want the best, but I want to mold the best so that you can see my products, right? So you can see, damn, she knows what she's doing. And people at the top level are able to see white, black, Indian, doesn't matter, right? NBA execs, it doesn't matter. They see like, okay, and she's passionate about what she does. And now we can be all inclusive because she's a female and she's black. So absolutely I use my blackness and my being a female to my advantage. But I also noticed that my people gatekeep, right? Like, my people think that we're in competition. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm only in competition with myself. Like you said, if I'm constantly elevating myself, it don't matter if I get on the internet and give you a drill. Like, some people be thinking like, I need to gatekeep. Like, why are you putting that? Like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, because you know what? I'm going to find another way to progress, right? If I see people taking my drills, cool, take my drills, at least give me a little, tag me or something, or let me know, like, I see you. You feel me? That's all I ask. I don't even ask for that. Because, like, I'm always finding ways to be innovative, and I think that people are scared. Well, if you're only, if you're only replicating or trying to duplicate what somebody else does, you're not going to be successful because you're not using your mind.
No.
But
it's nothing worse than a copy.
Right.
To me, the old saying is imitation is the highest form of flattery. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you that is incorrect. Imitation is insulting and it's irritating. Be original. I've worked my entire life to get to the point where I am, and I'm confident in who I am, and I'm secure in who I am. And to see someone come around you and in 47 seconds try to steal that and take that is so non-original. And it's irritating because I know you're never going to be able to be me. My je ne sais quoi is in my bloodstream. It has nothing to do with what I wear and how I look. So you can try all day long. You can go and get the same shoes. You can try to pick up my lingo and talk how I talk. You don't have my DNA.
One of one.
It's never going to. So to me, it's just insulting and irritating because it's like, be original. And going back to what you said about Nipsey, I 10,000% agree. And I'm going to talk to y'all. This is where we mess up. Nipsey did 150 things right. He did one thing wrong. You have to, when you get to a certain place in life, you have to give back and not go back. And I'm telling you that from experience. You think our ancestors got whipped and went through the most degrading things in life to just have us stay in the same place? That doesn't even make any sense. They progressed so we could progress. So when you are put in a better position to help you and your family, it is nothing wrong with taking your hand and reaching out and grabbing someone else. But you can do that from afar. You don't have to go back to do that. And every time that I put myself in a position to go back, I've regretted it. But I never regretted giving back. Because you can do the same things that he was trying to do from your house. That you've been able to be blessed with, that you've been able to... Because I'm going to tell you what progression is. Because we complain about it. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a difference between selling up and selling out. Right? A sellout is someone who will play the chitlin circuit, I'm going to say, to get the approval of someone else who they deem is better than. That's selling out, right? Selling up is to say, I'm going to move by you, not because you look like you look, or I'm trying to impress you, but because I deserve to. Mm-hmm. I deserve the same things you have and more. I deserve to be in this community. I deserve to shop at this grocery store. I deserve to wear these type of clothes. That's the total different mindset. And when you get to that level in life, you are obligated, to me, you don't have to think this way, but I think you are obligated to give back. Because there's not one person who needs that quantity of things.
That's how we progress as a people.
That's how we progress as a people. So my solution to the youth and to the people that are listening is to give back. Don't go back, right? When I make it to the level in life I want to make it to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back one time. And I'm going to see what needs to be done. And from there, I'm going to give back. Okay, I have enough money now to create a recreational center. I'm going to give back. Now, every now and then, I might go to the recreational center and speak. But you're not going to see me sitting there every day. Because that's not going to help the world. That's not going to help anybody. If I'm going back just to be back in the same place as the people that I'm trying to raise up, how does that benefit them? It doesn't benefit them. What benefits them is to show them, look where I was last year and look where I am today. You too could be here. Keep striving, keep going, and before I look at it, I want you to be my neighbor. Don't go back sitting down being at the barbecue, because the problem is a lot of people don't wish you well. Because unfortunately, that's how they are bred. A lot of people are bred, if I don't have it, I don't think you deserve to have it. That's unfortunate.
Or it should have been me.
Or it should have been me. Now, is that unfortunate? Absolutely. Is that fair? No. But is that realistic? Yes.
But all the game that some of us is given,
yeah,
it could be you. If you take us out the game, then it won't be you.
There you go. There you go. It's like you said earlier, it's the crab in the bucket mentality. You know,
it's trying to show you how to get up, and that was the man that was trying to show you how to get up.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Not even just showing you; he was trying to show the world. He was speaking to the world, and that scared some people. But the unfortunate truth is, no matter what, we can sit at a table, a round table, and say all day long, "Oh, they didn't want Nipsey to teach us. They didn't want him to grow." It wasn't them who took him out. It was one of us.
And that's what we went back to earlier talking about. Our people being sick and needing to grow as a community, and everybody can't go.
Yeah, 100%.
Trials and tribulations, right? Because that's a trial and a tribulation in itself.
That's a trial and tribulation.
As far as business, have you experienced any trials and tribulations? Like for myself, I grow every year. My business grows every year.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that, right? Obviously, I'm a long way from the finish line. I won't ever reach the finish line because, like Nip said, it's a marathon. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
But like right now, this is like a dead. Not I don't say it's a dead season, but when my players are in season, it's an off season for as far as my company, my business. Obviously, I have to find other ways and revenues to grow. But I continue to grow, right? And I continue to try to be innovative. Some people, you know, they might have a failing business and then they recreate another business. Some people might fail and never want to get back up. That's a lot. I think that's a lot of people. They feel that taste of failure and they feel like they're a failure and they never get back up. Yeah. Have you ever experienced any trials and tribulations in business? And what did you do to bounce back, if so?
B, I'm going to be honest with you. Every day is a trial and a tribulation for me. I feel like a black man in America. I was born in adversity. I was born with the worst end of the stick, I would say. But I don't let that control me. I don't let that. I'm only saying that because it's a fact. I'm not saying that as a woe is me. I feel like overall I have accomplished more than I was allowed to from birth. I've superseded every odd that has been stacked against me. And I feel like I cannot on one hand say I'm this amazing, smart, powerful individual and then on the other hand complain about the trials and tribulations that I have to go through. I think it's more important for me to take those trials and tribulations and turn them into triumphs. You know, I think that is more important. So to answer your question, yes, every day in a business, as a minority, as a black man, as a black woman, there's going to be trials and tribulations because we do have it harder. There is much less help for us. You know, sometimes I veer off, so get me back on track if you need to. But I got to tell you this: I have some people in my life. Most people in my life have this. I need help, but I don't want to give any.
Right.
It's been the bane of my existence. And 5 years ago, it's something that I would have worked with. Now, I'm done with that. I don't want to help anybody who don't want to help me. I don't want to help anybody who don't want to help themselves. Because I think help is a courtesy. I think being able to help someone is not only a courtesy, it's a gift. And you got to also want to help someone else. And I had someone tell me the other day, well, think about it this way. I've been self-employed since I was 18. I opened my first company. I didn't even have no money, B. Crazy story. I went to go sign a lease on this place, didn't know anything about credit or anything, and they trusted me. That's why I'm so open to the world, because the world was open to me. This is an Asian couple who owned this building, and they trusted me. They didn't have no reason to trust a nigga. I was a nigga.
Right.
I wasn't the man that I am today. I was a real nigga then, right? But they trusted me, and I did right by them. They said, we will give you the lease, but you can't open until your 18th birthday. With no credit. And I went and I opened, because I had the money. I was selling clothes out of my trunk. And I went and opened. I had no idea about structure. I had no idea about creating a business plan. I had no idea about a prospectus. I had no idea about a budget. I had no idea about any of these things, and I had no one to teach me. But I knew that I wanted to be successful at something. And I knew I had to figure it out fast, because it was either that or go to school. So I worked fast. I went to open my clothing store, and I had no money to buy clothes. So I had $2,500 a month in rent that I had to pay, and I had no idea how I was going to pay it because I had no clothes to sell. I had no money to buy the clothes. But guess what I did? I got on my computer, I got on my phone, internet was just popping at the time, and I got on MySpace, and I got on Google, and at the time, Yahoo, and I searched, and I found this company that will let you buy hangers on credit. And I bought hangers and clothing racks on credit. And people would come to, my store was right beside the nail salon. People would come by and they would say, "Oh wow, when are you going to open?" I was open. I had been open for 2 months. I had no clothes. I was open. I was fully open.
What you here selling?
We open. But every day I would go in that store, not knowing how I was going to get these clothes, but I went in that store proudly because I owned that. And I would go in and I would sweep and I would paint and I would fix things on the wall and I would change the hangers around because it was mine. And it took me 2 months to get those clothes. When I got those clothes, my store did amazing because I was a faithful servant in what I had been given, right? And I was blessed to be in that position because I was supposed to be dead and I was supposed to be in jail, but those things didn't happen, and I believe those things did not happen, and I got grace because I wasn't perfect and I did things, but I feel like I was given grace because I share. Because
good karma,
because I'm going to be in a position I'm going to give you these things. But I know you're going to take these things and you're going to share. You're going to give somebody a job, which I did, and I couldn't afford to. And I paid them on time every week, even when I had to go sell my own clothes to pay them. I know you're going to close somebody. My friends came in my store, stole from me, all types of things. And none of those things broke me. What those things did was they put systems in place. They allowed me they taught me this is not how you operate a business. This is how you operate a business. This is how you operate relationships. This is how you operate all those things. And so to bounce all that back to your original question, all those trials and tribulations really came to triumphs and teachings.
Right.
They really taught me things, and they taught me how to win, because I had to go through those things and lose to figure out what I need to do to not lose again. And that is why we're at this point now where I can wake up and I can have no money and I can still figure out how to open a business off of having no money. I can buy a domain, because to me, I'll come up with an idea and I'll go on GoDaddy and buy the domain and I'll get the LLC and I spend $140 and now I'm a business owner. I have a new business. I made it real. It's tangible. It's something I can see. Right. Now that it's something I can see, I'm going to work out the other logistics. I think we fail when we start, I don't have the money. It's a defeatist mindset. I don't know what to do. You know how to go on these dating sites and get you a date. You know how to go on social media and hit up your favorite celebrity and tell them you like their style, you like their music, but you don't know how to get on the same internet and Google how to create a business plan. Everything is online.
That's lazy. That goes back to earlier when I said people are lazy.
Lazy.
Right? People don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
We can't build our own community because not enough people are willing to do the work.
They want to do the work.
And as far as business, because some people might not even know how to start a business. I don't,
Correct.
I don't know, but also doing the work. The information is out there. Information is endless. You live in a digital age. You can go on the internet and figure it out.
Yeah.
But as far as you, when you first opened your business, did you come up with a business plan? Because I'm one of those people. I got a whole notebook. I got business plans. I might not even open a notebook for 2 years. I'm gonna be honest with you, which is not good. That's nothing that I'm not bragging about it. But have you created like 5-year plans, 10-year plans, just business plans in general?
Oh, this is gonna be a taboo topic because a lot of people don't agree with me on this.
Okay.
I don't make long-term goals.
Okay.
I make goals a year and under. Anything under a year I don't make. And the reason that is because I feel like me personally, I feel like long-term goals is a plan to fail. How can I plan in 5 years when I don't know what's gonna happen in 5 days? We live in a world now where the world is changing so fast and so quickly. Imagine 10 years ago there was no Instagram, right? Imagine 5 years ago there was no TikTok. So the world is moving at such a fast pace. Planning for a day that may never come, I think, is a plan to fail. What I do is I make short-term micro goals and I knock those out quicker. Okay. Because if I make a goal that's within 3 months, I can knock that goal out and I can go to another one. Okay. By that time, I've accomplished 4 goals in 1 year when you're still trying to reach 1 in 5 years. Okay. It kind of, to me, is a backwards way of thinking. And it's just me. And I'm telling you from trial and error, because I used to be someone who made 5 and 10-year goals. When I opened my first clothing store, my 5-year goal was, in 5 years, I'm going to have 5 stores. In 5 years, my store was bankrupt. Right. You know? Okay. And so I had to figure out, everything that I'm telling y'all is things that I've learned by trial and error. It's things that I've had to go through, figure out, and readjust.
Well, I really love that because, like I said, when I posed the question, I write 5. I mean, I might not even write a 5-year plan. I might just write some goals down, right? And I might not open the book. Yep. So, I mean, there's something I have to be intentional in doing and going back and looking because, I mean, I probably have knocked out some of those goals already, but I don't know because I'm not being intentional. But I do, like you said, and I think that was really on point, is that everything's constantly progressing. Like, we'll talk about a flying car and then 5 years ago, and then tomorrow it'll be a damn flying car, right? Correct. That's how fast technology is moving. Yeah. And, you know, we gotta be moving with it. So sometimes your goals may change. Yeah.
Goals should be aggressive. You should be aggressive with your goals. You shouldn't be subtle. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is, I'm aggressive with my goals. I make a goal that I also know that is obtainable. I'm not going to make a goal today saying I want to buy my private jet by the end of the year. Even though I know I want to eventually have a private jet, I know I ain't going to be able to buy that by the end of the year. Now, if something happens in the middle where it's happening, thank God. I mean, I've superseded. But I'm also going to make realistic goals. My realistic goal before getting a private jet is to get in a position where I can travel freely without having to worry about a budget. I can't think about no private jet until I can pay Delta. Like, you gotta put yourself in a position to win. Don't think of goals that are outside of your realm of possibility. And the goals that I make are micro, and there's something that I could obtain. Okay? So guess what? My goal now is, okay, I want to be able to, let's say, get another house in a different country, right? That to me means differently what it made for somebody else. To me, everything I do is aligned with the business. I'm not thinking just to live a luxury life. I've lived the life of 3 kings already. Everything at this point in my life is a bonus to me. If I say I want to get a house in a different country, to me, what that means to me is I want to get a business in a different country. And my business is going to operate as my house and my office. So I'm able to go to this country and work and also live and also play. But my ultimate goal is to create some sort of commerce there. Is to create some sort of footprint there so that I can take what I have now and put it in a different sector. That's what I mean by that. But a lot of people look at it and say, oh, well, you just want to get another house or you want to spend money. That's not how I live. Right. I don't live in that space. I'm so confident and happy with myself. I can have the same clothes on every day. Now, I don't want the same clothes. I like to be fly. Right. Yeah, I want to have them. But I'm okay with it if I had to be there. But what I'm not okay with is not being free. I want to wake up every single day, and whatever my prerogative is, I want to be able to do. That to me is no better gift. It's the ultimate level of success. It's the ultimate level of freedom, and it's going to put you in a position to win every time. Everything you touch going to turn to gold. You know why? Because you do it out of freedom. You do it because you don't care if you win or you lose. You do it because you want to. Exactly. That is how you win.
I tell myself all the time, if I get a gym, I'm going to be living in the gym. Shoot, I'm not paying 2 mortgages, right?
You know what I'm saying? You know how to make it work.
Exactly, and I think that's important because success to me and being free. Like, I want to be free. Yeah. And I know that as of right now, being free is, being able to maintain and run my business. If I'm able to, I live, eat, drink, what I do, what I love, and this is what I love to do. Yeah. So that'll help me obtain more goals because I do eventually want to do more. You know, there's other things that I want to be able to do, like teach, which may not supply me with the funds that I need. But it's something that I would love to do, and that's freedom to me. So another thing that's very hard for me is the ability to collaborate. And the ability, I guess the collaboration comes after the ability to network. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, it's hard for me to like I see people like my friends. I have friends that they run their own companies, and they're like, "Oh, I know that man from such and such show, and I should go talk to him." And I'll hype him up. Go talk to him. Why not?
Yeah.
But if it was me, I probably wouldn't.
Why?
I don't want to say like being a groupie, but it kind of feels like I am doing that. I don't know if there's another word, another term.
No, I love that. I love that, B, because I used to think the same way. I never wanted to be known as the boy that asking to take the pictures, the boy asking for, to get your information. And so a lot of times I would sit in a room and say nothing because I didn't want to be looked at as a groupie because I wasn't a groupie. Right. I really thought that I was the shit myself. So I wasn't running up to somebody else to give them their congratulations because I was like, well, I congratulate you, but I'm not finna go out my way to do that when I really feel like I'm the shit myself too. So I totally get that. But why I changed that is because I realized I was leaving a lot of crumbs at the table. And all the crumbs I was leaving, someone else was picking up. And so now when I go network, and this could probably be good for you, is now when I go network, I don't do it under the auspices of them. I do it under the auspices of me. So I go to every table knowing that I bring something to it. So I think that it's fair if you take something to it, that you take something away. And I look at it that way. So if I'm going to network with you, I'm not just coming asking for something. I'm also coming to give something. And because of that, I deserve to take something.
Okay.
And that way, you're not a groupie. You're a contributor. You're contributing, and you can because you're contributing, you're taking away.
It's like you kind of said a little bit earlier. I pour into your cup, you pour into mine.
There you
go.
Now
the people, that's why I think people have the perspective of the glass is half empty. I think the mindset has to change. Is my glass is always half full, or it's full, or I'm pouring into it.
Yeah, or if you feel like it's only half in the glass, then that means there's more to pour in there. Like to me, I look at everything as a positive. I don't look at nothing as a negative. If it's half liquid in my glass, that means I got more room to pour more stuff. That's a good thing. That's not a negative thing. I'm not looking at it as, oh, it's only half, it needs to be full. No, it's half. So let me go in this room and fill it up. That means I have more room to add to. And I think changing that mindset just in general and thinking in the positive and not in the negative, it helps you. Fuck what anybody else thinks. It helps you. It helps you understand that things could always be better, but things could always be worse.
Right.
And because they can always be worse, they can always be better. And so you're always striving to that better because you know that the worst is behind you. You know that today I could be doing well and tomorrow I can't even pay my rent. Like I'm in that position all the time. It's like as a self-employed individual, sometimes I have a litany of money and sometimes I have none. But I don't complain. I don't sit, I'm telling you. And this is what people need to know. They need to know every day ain't gonna be no good day. But every day ain't gonna be no bad day either. Right. Like as long as you got your breath, you got your energy, you got your the gifts that you were given are for you. If you can learn how to take those and monetize those and spread those, then you're going to be fine. And on the bad days, you just patiently wait and you put the work in because you know this day too shall pass. It's not going to last forever. Right. Being someone like me, I made $1 million before I was 24 years old. And I was broke before I was 25. Because I had no tools on how to take that million and make more. I only knew how to take that million and keep spending so I can look like I had $1 million.
Right.
Made no sense. But that's the way I used to think at 24. Now I'm in a position where I can have $27. And I can make that $27 like $2 million because I know what it's like to have nothing but to look like everything. Because you present yourself in the future. See, that's the problem with us. We present ourselves in the moment. You're supposed to live in the future. If you live in the moment, you're already behind.
Right.
I live in the future. Exactly. So when I walk outside, I don't care if I don't got no money in my pocket. I ain't thinking about today. I'm already on to tomorrow. What my blessing is going to be tomorrow. What my gift is going to be tomorrow. Don't live in today. Because if you live in today, you're going to be stuck.
Okay. All right. A few more points. Right? Because earlier we talked about credit. And I think I didn't learn about credit until I had to get credit. Right? Or I didn't learn about credit until I'm trying to lease a car, and they tell me, "Oh, your credit score is, I don't think my credit score is a 4.8." Because I didn't have any credit, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, a lot of our people think like, I don't need credit, everything cash. I know people that's not our people too that are like, I don't need credit, everything will be cash. how important do you think credit is? I don't mean go run it up. Mm-hmm. I mean, but at the end of the day, I know some people who run it up and say F it too.
Yeah. I know people like that too, and I have been that person as well in my past. Very good question, B. I think that credit is supremely important. I think that
especially as a business person.
You can't do anything in business without credit. When I used to have a car lot for 7 years, I didn't know that you had to have good credit to have a car lot. You know why? Because you can't get insurance on your business if you don't have good credit. They check your credit to get insurance. They check your credit. They check my credit to be able to buy cars at the auction. It was all based around my credit, and I didn't know that. And I was underserving my purpose because I didn't have the tools to deal with it. And what I had to learn is, if you can't beat them, join them. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times, first of all, we're all taught in our communities that cash is king. Mm-hmm. We're taught that if you got money, you can do anything.
Right.
I had to learn the hard way that is a falsity. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in this world that is substantial that you can do without having credit. Because credit is basically your identifying measure. It's what people use, and I think it's a fair system. I think they use it to say, have you been a good steward of what you have already?
Right.
And then I'm going to give you some more.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfair for us to say, well, the world is fucked up because you got to have good credit to buy stuff. But guess what? They're giving you something in advance on your face card. If I'm going to give you something in advance on your face card, I want your face card to be clean.
Right.
I don't want your face card to be dirty.
I don't need it to decline. Ask yourself, if you've lended somebody some money and they never paid you back. So some of you guys are mad at the credit bureaus or the credit system, but you still looking for $20 that Tyrone that you loaned to Tyrone. So it's a system in progress to make sure that you are gonna do what you say that you're going to do. So I don't have a problem with the credit system. It's the fact that I didn't know anything about the credit system. Nobody taught me. My parents didn't teach me, and that's for whatever reasons, but I think that it's important to learn about the credit system and not to abuse the credit system. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you should abuse anything, but specifically don't abuse your credit, because your credit is a tool to help you. We beg, again, going back, we beg for our 40 acres and a mule. Our credit is our mule. That mule is a token to us to be able to use to benefit us. No one's giving you credit to hurt you. Why would they give you money, free money, essentially, on a loan? You obviously got to pay it back, but let's say in advance, not say free money. Why would they give you in advance to hurt you? It's up to you to be. And I was just telling B, there's a difference in credit. There's a difference between being responsible and there's a difference between being resourceful. Responsible is someone who takes their credit. You can't afford to go shopping, so you don't go shopping. You use your credit for gas, and you might not even use it for food because you may not have the money to pay it back next month. That's responsible. But being resourceful is, I'm going to take this money, I'm going to go buy some shoes, wholesale, and then I'm going to go sell them full price, retail, pay the card back first before I do anything else. Before I pay myself, pay the card back first, because that card or that credit is used as a resource. It's used as a tool to advance you to another level. Now, this is a lot of things that we're not taught. I wasn't taught that. B wasn't taught that. So it's okay to make mistakes at the beginning. But when you get to start having kids and you get to start to being able to, do your makeup and you look like a whole different person when you leave out of the bathroom and all that, you are responsible, and it is up to you to learn the right thing to do with your credit. Everything's on Google, everything is online, but 10,000% having credit and using it the right way could change your life, could change your family's life, could change your kids' life, for sure.
So, things that I listen to, I like to listen to people when they speak, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's in an industry that I'm not in, right? But I like to pay attention, so I've heard people like Whack 100 talk about credit, right? Because I didn't even know that you can build your credit line, right? I didn't know that you can build your credit up to $100,000. But I listened to him one day on the web, and he was talking about that, and I'm like, I I didn't know that you could do that. So now I started to, because I used to have a credit card. Like I would have my credit cards just to have them so that I could say, oh, I have credit, right? And build it just a little bit. But I didn't know the more you spend, the more you pay off, the better credit line you have, and the more you can build your credit.
And the more they give you.
Right. So I ended up, I don't just spend, right? It's about being intentional. So I spend on things, okay, I'm going to pay that back. I'm only spending this so that I can build my credit line and build my credit up. Because I might, but when I wasn't at a 700, I was like, damn, how do I get to this 720? How do I get my credit up? Okay, let me go ahead and spend a couple dollars, and then let me see in a couple months if that shit boosted my credit up. Even my car is building my credit up faster than anything. And I think that it's important because as a business person, and obviously I'm going to open a business credit line, but when I want to buy a house in the future, I'm going to need to show that I have good credit, and I have credit, and I have a credit history. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that.
They don't.
And I know you said something about a course, and I didn't know that the master class.
Yeah, so I have a master class. It's called WhyNotMeMasterclass.com, where I teach credit. I teach business credit, personal credit, building credit, establishing credit, and the number one rule in credit, which we don't know and a lot of us don't know, and I'm gonna do it really quickly, is Credit 101, piggybacking. It's the age old, it's been around 50, 60, 70 years since credit was in existence. But we just learned about it the last 20 years. And what that is if you have an 18-year-old sister, or a 15-year-old son, a 30-year-old cousin who don't have any credit, who knows nothing about credit, or maybe you're trying to build credit, but you're someone like me who's established credit since I was 18, and I know about credit, I can take you, for instance, put you on my credit card as an authorized user on one of my high limit cards. I paid that. It doesn't work if your credit messed up. It only works if you're a good paymaster of your credit. So I'm a good paymaster of my credit. So I would take one of my credit cards, let's say one of my $10,000 credit cards, add you on it. That credit then becomes your credit. It's called piggybacking. So you can have zero credit, you can have no money, and within 30 days, I can boost your credit up to where you can go buy a car. Because what happens is, my credit card then goes on your credit. It's going to show authorized user, which means you don't own it, you're just able to use it, but nonetheless, it builds your credit. So you got a 0 credit score, and in 30 days, you can have a 700 credit score.
So the credit builds off of me and you?
The credit builds simply off of me.
Off of you.
So basically, the trick is, what the bureau say is, if you trust her enough to put her on your credit card that's good, we're going to trust her enough to put your good credit on her bad credit. So if I've had the credit card for 5 years and the credit card is a $10,000 limit, what shows on your credit is you had the credit for 5 years with a $10,000 limit. It's almost equivalent to you having the same credit card, even though it's not yours.
Real quick.
Yep.
Okay, because that...
And it's free.
That reminds me of speaking of building your kids' credit. Can you speak on that real quick and how, if people should be building their child's credit and how they can?
If you're not building your kids' credit, you're failing them. The same way you go get light bills and all that in their name, like some of our parents did us, you could do that in a positive way. An example, in real time, my nephew was 15. I added him to 2 of my credit cards. So by the time he turned 17, his credit score was 760. And he had near perfect credit. Because since he was 15, he had these 2 credit cards on his credit that I always paid for that boosted his score. What ended up happening was I sat him down and I said, I'm going to get you 2 credit cards so that you don't have to worry about when you go to college, because he wanted to go to college, nobody feeding you, nobody paying your cell phone bill. These are going to be 2 things you do with these cards. You pay your cell phone bill, you buy your food, and you buy your gas. So the 3 things. So one of the cards I got him was an American Express under his own name because his credit was good.
Right.
And then the other one was a Capital One. They gave him, I think, $5,000 on one and $2,000 on the other. So that's $7,000 that he got on his 18th birthday. As soon as he turned 18, I got him. Then he wanted a car. My nephew was able to go to a car lot and buy a Chevy Malibu on his own merit at 18 years old with no one else because he had established credit.
And probably had a low payment and rate.
had a low payment and a low rate and no down payment. He had no down payment. He what they call no steps, meaning your credit is so good you don't have to put down any down payment and you don't have to show no proof of income. You just go in and tell them what you want.
And that's why it's so important to me, because like I said, I had a 480. I believe it was a 480. I was in the 400s. That's all I know when I got my first car that I bought, right? Yeah. And my payments were high, right? My payments were high. I don't think I had like a large down payment, but my payments, I had a trade-in, right? But my payments were high. As a basketball player, as a college student, it's almost unaffordable to have to do that, right?
It is 100% unaffordable.
So it's important that we progress our youth in the ways that we can, because that could be the very reason why we're holding ourselves back, because now I'm paying for this car note and now I can't do nothing, because then I did get an offer to go back to Alabama, but I couldn't go because now I got to pay this car. And I could have went to Alabama, probably got a job if my payment was low and still sent that money back. But because my payment was so high because I didn't have credit, now I got to stay in bondage.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. If you have a kid that's a teenager, a girl or boy, and you pay for a bar mitzvah or a sweet 16 or a PlayStation, and you have not yet added them to your credit card, if you don't got good credit on your own, that's a whole nother story we need to get into, because the number one issue we have in America is people having kids and they ain't ready yet. If you ain't figured out about credit yet, you don't need to be having kids. Because there's no way you can advance them if you can't advance yourself.
Ooh, that's a whole nother
video.
Are having kids, and it's almost like you need a license to have a kid, because there's some kids running around here with no guidance.
And it's the parents' fault, because it's like we are. Oh, you having twins? Oh, you having a baby? I am not celebrating mediocrity. And I am not about to celebrate you when I know you can't read. What are you going to do for your kid if you can't read? How are you going to teach them?
Some type of credentials. I'm going to be honest.
It needs to be some credentials.
Some of y'all don't even want kids. So it's like you just being unintentional, just throwing the box or just slanging the thing-a-lang.
Yeah.
And then you guys, the consequence of that is now you have a seed. But now look at your seed. Is now, right? We're talking about success. Now you're building them for failure, right?
You're contributing to the problem.
Right.
And a lot of y'all, the problem isn't you, because you wasn't even taught right. So I get it. A lot of people aren't taught right. And because they're not taught right, they don't know any better. But the problem is the majority of y'all who know better are celebrating them instead of condemning them. I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to be like, I know you might be looking for somebody to love you, but you're doing it the wrong way. Because if you don't love yourself, you can raise a kid no matter how much you raise a kid and love that kid. You can't guarantee. That's not a guarantee that kid going to love you how you want that kid to love you. You need to, charity starts at home. Love yourself first. That's the first thing. The second thing is, how can you put a kid in a good position when you're not in a good position? Your parents are in a good position. I know somebody who live with their mom, who lives with their mom, who lives in their mom's house. How are you going to have a kid? You three generations in one house fucked up.
And we talked about that earlier, but you're not building. Like the Mexicans, how they're building.
Correct.
So that they could,
correct,
break free from that bondage. You're doing that just because we on some niggas.
Because the difference is a lot of the Mexicans do it by choice. Right. You're having to do it by force. You having to live that way because you have no other choice. That's a problem. And I just want us to do better at that, because at the end of the day, if we ever going to get to the next stage in life and to get to a place where people actually hold us in the right regard, in the regard we need to be in, we need to fix ourselves.
I would like to ask you to give the people some game about success and how they can either be a little bit more successful or things, or the mindset that they need to obtain to become successful.
Okay. I'll start off by saying, in order to get some things you never had, you must do some things you've never done. And I feel like as a community, we are so stuck in our way. We do things consistently the same way and expect a different result. And I have made it from stage A to Z by being different. by thinking different, by trying to learn different. And not different where I want it to change me, but different where I want it to better me. Success is relative. Success can be someone who opened a lemonade stand and they make $200 a week, but they were successful at that. Success could also be someone who won the lottery and put no work in. Success could also be someone who made it to the NBA and played for 20 years. So success is relative. Success is who you feel like you are and where your destination is. But the one conclusion with success is it is freedom. There is no such thing as success without you being free. And freedom does not always mean that you're bound by your hands. Sometimes it's you're bound by your head. And what I would encourage everybody to do is to wake up every day and want to be a better you in your mentality, in the way that you think. Because if we knew everything, we would be everything. And we're not. And that's okay. We can all learn together. We can all progress together. But I strive every day to be a better person, not just in my heart, but also in my head. Because another saying that my grandmother would say, she would always tell me to move with my heart, but take my head with me. And I think that is a perfect antidote and a way to end this, is to always do things out of good intentions, but don't be no fool. And I just got tired of being a fool. I got tired of not knowing. I got tired of not wanting to know, because I was comfortable at who I was and where I was. Don't be comfortable. We can all be better. I think if we all strived to the highest point where we could be, we could all be together, and we could all be good, and we could all be great. I want everybody in the world to win, but I especially want everybody black to win. I want everybody black to win more than we've ever won before, but we only can do it together and when we change the way we think.
Blessed. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. I would love to do it again. You know, I like to talk.
I would love to do it again.
For sure.
Look at we can have our angle right here, because y'all missing the views right here.
It's okay. We gonna give them part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
We got you coming soon. Thank you guys for joining. Please take any tips that you need. Really listen with your mind. Take notes, right? Change your mindset. Changing your mindset is inevitable. We need change. We need progress. Let's move forward. Peace.